Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about how to lay out your home page. Now, as an example, I'm going to go over to Minimalist Baker. Let me just pull this up real quick. And you can see that when you get here, this is a really nice presentation. They have their logo, just as we discussed, up top, middle, navigation here. And they do use the foodie theme. But they have a certain layout to their homepage that's really nice. The first thing you see is the most recent recipe that they created. As you scroll down, it goes into some of the other most recent posts, but it's a different format. You see how on top here you get the full blog layout, and then it goes down and it kind of creates these summaries for these. I'm going to show you how to lay your homepage out in different ways using the foodie theme. So if you come back over here to your customize and you go over to widgets again, and you can see that you have these other three areas where you can put widgets into. Now your homepage, the foodie theme is broken up. The homepage of the foodie theme is broken up into three areas: top, middle, and bottom. Now you'll see these areas start to take shape as I go through this with you. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to add, here, see I clicked on top, add widget, and for this I'm going to use Foodie Pro featured posts. And now once you do that, you're going to see a series of options here. You can see that everything that was here previously is gone, and it's waiting for me to customize these areas. So for this section, we're going to do a full width column, which means it's going to go all the way across like this. And we want this area to show the last post that we created, or the last recipe we created. We want it to show the whole recipe. So that's going to be all categories, because it doesn't matter what category the recipe is in. We just want the most recent. We want one post. Number of posts to offset, don't worry about that. We're going to order by date, because we want the most recent. Scroll down. You want it to show the featured image of your post. So if you check this, you'll see how it'll begin to change. You see how it put a little bitty image there? We want it to be nice and big. So let's do this. You can see the sizes right here. So horizontal thumbnail. You can see that it brings that nice. And then image alignment, that's going to be similar to what Jason talked about in his post, left, right, and center. If you were going to use a thumbnail image, and we'll talk about this in the next section, but if you align it left, you'll see that it aligns it to the left, just like that. And again, left, right, and center. But for this one, we're going to have no alignment, because we're going to create a nice big image across the top. When someone gets there, that's what the first thing they're going to see. I'm going to scroll down. We want to show the post title, obviously. And you can see how the post title is below the image. And then you come up here and you see you have that option that you've chosen to put the image before the title. So we're actually going to put the image after the title, because we want that nice on top, nice and big on top. You can also show the post info, which I think is nice, so people can see the last time you posted. And here you can see that it's set to show excerpt. What that means is it's going to limit, it's only going to show the first paragraph or so of the recipe. For this section, we want to show the entire content. And you can see what happens there when I show the full content is it shows this image again. The reason that is because we have this image in our post. So what I want to do is I actually want to remove this featured image if I want it to show the entire post. Now, you can also show content with a limit, and what that'll do, and you'll see, that'll leave your featured image here, and then you can give it a limit number of characters. So let's say 500. So what that's going to do is it's going to take 500 characters and display it here. Let's go 5,000. And you can see it shows all our content there right up front. For this, I want it to show the entire post. So we're going to show content, but what we have to do is we have to remove this image because our image that we want to show is in our post already. So don't show an image. And then you can see that it nicely shows the first post, or the latest post that we created. Now we're going to scroll down here, read more. We're not going to worry about that right now. Show author. I'll just show you what that looks like. It's not something you're going to want. See, it's going to show a picture of the author up here. It's not necessary. Leave that off. And then at the bottom you see show archive link. We're not going to worry about that for this one because we're just going to want to show our entire latest post. Okay, so we're going to make sure you save and publish that. Now obviously I just have placeholder text in here. None of this makes sense based on the image that you see here, but you get the idea. So now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to take, let me go to appearance and customize, go back to where we were, go to widgets, and now I'm going to deal with the middle section. Now the middle section will come directly after this home area top. So we're going to format that a little differently. We're going to make that the next series of posts. As you can see here in Minimalist Baker, they have a big post up top, and then the next section they have the excerpt with the image to the left. So we're going to add that Foodie Pro featured post widget. I'll scroll down so we can see it come together, and you can see that this is the area here. We're going to do full width just as it is. We're going to do all categories because it doesn't matter what category it's in. We just want it to be in chronological order. Here, let's see, we'll do 3 more posts, and you see it'll do the next 3. For this, we're going to show the image after the title. We're going to use the thumbnail, and we're going to line it to the left. Again, you're not seeing the title here because we have to display post title. See how that works? And now you see what happened here is that you actually have the same post listed twice. So you have this as your latest post up top. As you come down here, you see that same post again. This gives you the option down here to exclude a previously displayed post. So if you click that, that'll recognize that you're already displaying that last recipe, and then that'll bring in the next 3 in rotation. So even I might choose a little bigger of an image here because that's kind of small. See, that's nice and big. So when someone gets to your site, they'll kind of read through, and then they'll see, okay, there's the next 3, really nice. And then this is the read more button. So when you click here, it'll take the person to the full recipe post. We're going to save and publish that. Oh, I'm sorry, I closed it again. Let me go back to the customize. Widgets. And now we're going to look at the bottom section. We're going to scroll down the bottom. We're going to add a widget. And we're going to set this one up a little bit differently just so you can see some different formatted post areas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up 3 sections for categories. So I'm going to set up this one. First category is going to be breakfast. I'm going to actually use a 1/3 column view. You'll see what happens. You can see that it begins to break it up into 3 columns. I'm going to choose my breakfast category. I want to show 3 because I'm using a 1/3 column, so I want to fill up these 3 columns. I want to order by date. I'm gonna just leave it to display these posts for this example because it doesn't really matter here. I want it to show the title before, or the image before the title. Down here I'll click show post title, and I'm going to do a nice square thumbnail for that. Alignment's not necessary because we're going to keep it on top just like this. Now you can see that this content down here, the column width is not enough to fit any content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the content altogether. So now I just have a nice grid here that shows several recipes for the breakfast category. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 more. In the same way, I'm going to do breakfast, then I'm going to do lunch. I'm going to go through this whole process again really quick. Show post title. And you may need to go through this video a couple times just to see all the settings that I'm putting in place, because there is a lot here. And you can see that it's starting to come together. I don't want to show the content. No content. Awesome. So let me do one more. Okay, awesome. Now you can see that you have your 3 main sections on your website. Now, play around with some different layouts here. This is really up to you. You know, as you can see, for me, if I look at this, I see this first recipe, and I think it's just too much for a person to scroll down to see all of those other things. So let's just change that really quick. This is how simple it is, that you just can come in here and just change things around and play around with some different ideas. So here I say don't show the image. I'm going to show the excerpt of this just like that. I'm going to show my image. I'm going to show my image nice and big after the title. See, that's really nice. So you get one main featured post on top, then your next ones, and then you can, you know, group areas based on category. The last thing I want to mention is that you can also, I'm going to save and publish. Always remember to save and publish. You can also add these widgets to your side area. So for instance, if we want to put a listing of recipes on the side, we're going to add a widget. We'll use our Foodie Pro featured posts, and you can see that it always defaults back to just the text. So what we'll do is we'll do a full width. Let's do all categories. We'll show 3 posts by date. We're going to show an image after the title. We're going to show thumbnail images, so they're nice and small because the sidebar is small. Image alignment, you can do center. What that's going to do, you'll see. It keeps it to the left. We're going to show the post title, and for this we're also not going to show the copy because it's too much for this area. So we're going to go no content. You see? So that's a nice way to display them as well. So you can play around with a lot of these options you have here. I look forward to seeing what you come up with this as well.